some of that really nice Italian seasoning. Oh wait, you're not supposed to eat that. Oops. Well, hi guys, welcome back to Tactical Review. So if you're following the channel on social media, just a little bit ago, I think last week one day, I mentioned that I had picked up a new red dot sight, and so today we're going to get into the unboxing of the Northtac Ronin P10 red dot sight. Alright, now once again, at the time when I bought this, it was going for about $85. So initial presentation is really impressive. It's kind of funny that sometimes these less expensive optics come in nicer packaging than sometimes the nicer ones. For instance, okay, so we've got this nice plastic case with the latches. It's padded inside, but then you have your Holosun, which is about 3 times the price. Comes in just a simple, cardboard sleeve, and it does still have a plastic box in there, and it's padded and it's perfectly fine. I just think it's funny when sometimes these less expensive accessories come in such high quality cases. Now, just going over the specifications here before we get into this too much. This is a simple 2 MOA dot, which might take me a little bit of getting used to. I've gotten used to things like the ACSS reticle and the EOTech reticle. But I was just looking for a very simple low-rise red dot to put on my AK. And then this one also boasts roughly 50,000 hour battery life, as well as shake-to-wake technology. So that's what made me choose this optic with an eye on reviewing it here on Tactical Review. Is the features, a similar feature set to the Sig Romeo 5 at about 50% less typical street price. So anyway, now am I saying this is as good as the Sig Romeo 5? I am not. Time's going to tell if this is any good, and do keep in mind, either way we go, this is a sample size of 1. So let's get in here. I'm going to open it up. Nice padded box. We have our package with our instructions. We have a certificate of warranty. Hopefully this is focusing here. This does have a lifetime warranty. So you simply go through an RMA process with Northtac, and you do have to pay return shipping, unfortunately, but even still, lifetime warranty. And again, we're talking a sub $100 optic that has shake-to-wake technology. Also in the package, we have our screen to suppress objective lens flashing. Does come with a CR2032 battery, an Allen key, which I won't be using because it's awful hard to measure duggas with a simple Allen key, and a lint-free cloth. Also in the bag, some of that really nice Italian seasoning. Oh wait, you're not supposed to eat that. Oops. We have a low-rise, slightly cantilevered pick rail section. It feels fairly lightweight. It looks nicely machined. I will warn you though that some of the reviews I read said that the optic itself is good, but don't use this. So given that I'm using it on an AK, I don't need a riser anyway. If you're putting this on an AR-15 or a similar setup with how your cheek weld and everything aligns, I would recommend, if it's not just a range toy, go ahead and pick up a riser from Midwest Industries or Bravo Company or a known good manufacturer. That said, at this point, I wouldn't be putting this on a life or liberty weapon anyway, just because it's unproven. The reviews are very good. And then we have our optic, just a very simple lens cover system. You do see a bit of a red tint on that end. Glass looks relatively clear, and it appears to be about the size of, you know, like a prism or something. You got your battery cover here on the right. There is a rubber gasket around that. That's good to see. Your brightness adjustments, and then turret covers. They've got our little rubber keeper on them, so it's nice that you're not going to just be able to drop them and lose them. I think that that rubber keeper will very quickly probably dry rot and fall away. Not a huge concern, I wouldn't think, because I'm going to guess you're not going to be zeroing this all that often. And then, since this is our initial unboxing, let's just see if we can hear how positive or not these clicks are. All right, yeah, those definitely audible and tactile. And that rubber keeper kind of makes it a bit of a pain getting these turret caps on and off. And anyway, again, there's nothing else in the box. Pretty nice box. The box even actually has a rubber gasket up here. This would be a nice box to just keep around and use. All right, and then I was going through the manual here, and I did notice this one manual covers several different models. It covers their F10 model, which appears to be like a pistol red dot style, similar to the Holosun 507 or the 400 and 500 series, and the RMR. It has a pick rail base, and it mounts down to that. Doesn't tell me what footprint it uses. Doesn't much matter. That's not what we're talking about. The P10 that we have, though, in case you're wondering, according to the manual, without the mount, it's a 4.6 ounce optic, and then the mount, or the riser, excuse me, the riser weighs right at 2 ounces. So just if you're going to give this a try, in case those numbers are important for you. The clicks on the turret are half MOA, and it does once again have shake to wake technology, up to 50,000 hours of battery life. And going on through here, they've also got a P11. That one actually does look a lot like the Vortex Spark. And they have a V11. And then other than that, they have windage and elevation information in here, and They have instructions for sighting in your optic. What they don't necessarily have is the zeroing distance, which I will discuss when I zero this. Again, I'm putting this on my Palmetto State AK-47. We're going to do that here in just a minute. What I was looking for was recommended torque values, and I keep buying optics and not being able to find that in the manual. And one thing I want to point out, much like my Terminus Optics TOC1, I think if you go back to that zeroing video, or if you'll just remember back, when I first started zeroing that, I had to start with like 3 wide zeroing targets, something like 3 foot tall by 6 foot wide of paper, because one of the things you pay for in higher dollar optics is a basic laser zeroing at the factory. And so on these less expensive optics, in order to save per unit cost on production, a lot of these companies aren't going to do that for you. So my Terminus Optics, though I was able to get it zeroed and everything was fine, it started out at 50 yards being like 2 feet to the left. If I planned ahead a little bit more, I would have spent another $20 and gotten a 7.62 by 3.9 laser bore sighter. I didn't do that, so who knows what it's going to take me to get this zeroed in. Might not be a bad idea for you to pick one of those up, pick up a laser bore sight if you're going to be using a lower cost optic. Also, what I'm not finding in here, and I knew I wouldn't find in here, is the instructions to set the turn off time for the red dot. Fortunately for us, I bought this off of Amazon, and I usually at least skim the reviews before I click add to cart and buy, because even though I'm doing this and knowing that there's a chance I'm going to get a lemon, I don't want to buy something that everybody just knows is garbage. You know, something about doing the same thing over and over again, reinventing the wheel, etc., etc. This is a really highly reviewed optic. My average review on it is 4.1 out of 5 stars on Amazon. And usually I go by, if it's 4 stars or better, it's probably a good bet, just because you can have the best product in the world and somebody's going to give you a negative review. But looking through those reviews, PJS, you are the real all-star, man. His review says auto shutoff feature doesn't exist. Edit, yes it does, but the Northtac rep couldn't confirm. I'm not going to read you his entire review, but I will read the pertinent information, and I'm going to have that in the description of the video, so that we can preserve that for posterity, because if Amazon delists this item, it completely takes it down because it's for those scary assault weapons, yeah, we might lose this information. And PJ said that he or she had to scour the internet and put these instructions together after confirming that they work from several different sources. By default, the dot turns off after 4 hours, but it is adjustable from 1 hour to 5 hours. So given that this has shake to wake technology, I don't see any reason personally to not adjust it down to 1 hour so that we get the most out of our battery life. If you are using this on a patrol rifle, well, I'm going to say probably don't use this on a patrol rifle. I mean, if it's your go-to-work rifle, maybe your life is worth more than $85. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Anyway, but if you had this on a patrol rifle, let's just say this turns out to be one of the best optics you can buy, let alone for under $100. If you're out on patrol, your dot's going to stay on because it's going to be, you know, moving. It's kind of like my Holosun optic when I've got it in my waistband. I know that thing's got to be on almost all the time when I'm walking around. Compare that to on an EOTech 512 that has automatic off but not automatic on. To me, that's the kind of thing that if you've got it on like a bedside gun or on a work gun, if you're you know, police or military or whatever, well, you turn it on at the beginning of your shift, or if it's on a home defense gun, you click the button and you turn it on when you go to bed, and it's going to turn off 8 hours later. Okay, so with an EOTech, I'm thinking I'm going to extend my auto off to 8 hours. With this, though, with something with an auto on, I'm thinking I probably want it down to an hour. Anyway, that's just my thinking. If you disagree, or if you do agree, tell me why or why not in the comments. Go ahead and change my mind. Maybe, yeah, I am more than willing to be wrong. I'm a man. It's my right to be wrong, and I'm good at it. On my P10, which I'm going to have to assume all of them function the same way. If you press and hold the minus button after the optic is on for 5 seconds, the reticle flashes and you go into motion sensor mode. And if you press the plus one time, it blinks 3 times, and I assume that that's motion sensor on. That's what Northtac told PJ. If you press the minus button, it blinks twice, and I assume that that is motion off. It makes sense. Plus is on, minus is off. Pressing and holding the plus button, that's when you saw the really rapid reticle flash. That puts it into time set mode. All right, and then it'll flash between 1 and 5 times, indicating how long until power off. So, there we go. Okay, well, and now we're going to go ahead and mount this. Surely putting an optic on a rail isn't gunsmithing, right? Right, YouTube? We're going to go with that. Again, Northtac did not put torque specs in the manual for this. So I'm going to go ahead and use 30 inch-pounds, which seems to be pretty typical Picatinny mount torque. And it's what the Sig Romeo 5 calls for. So we're going to go with that. Obviously for that, once again, you need your blue thread lock. You need your torque driver. And I use the Wheeler FAT wrench. And then obviously you need your firearm. And we will just go ahead and make a mess. We will put some thread lock in the receiving threads. And we'll put some thread lock on the bolt threads. And then we'll mount that about as far back as it'll go. My wrench is already set at 30 inch-pounds. How nice. Easy peasy. Well, it kind of looks like a skyscraper up there. It comes up real nice. We'll get out to the range and we'll get this zeroed. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everybody who's supporting the channel. Whether you're just doing it by sharing the videos or whether you're one of my patron supporters. You guys paid for this optic, actually. So I just want to express my thanks. Hopefully this turns out to be a good investment for you guys, an investment in education, if nothing else. This is going to be obviously an ongoing test, like my Terminus optics, and we'll just keep you updated, see how long this lasts. It might be a phenomenal little cheap shake to wake red dot, or it may be something that dies very quickly. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to appreciate the warranty if it comes to that, but I'm going to let you guys know as well. Also, don't forget, once again, everything you see on my channel is a sample size of 1. Everything you see on anybody's YouTube channel is a sample size of 1. So you're going to have guys like Military Arms channel who manages to break everything they get, and then you're going to have guys that just have good luck, and maybe they got the one good one out there. So anyway, I'm just trying to help you guys out, but I definitely wanted to make sure to thank my patrons, because again, that funding actually is what let me get this for the testing. If you're not a Patreon supporter, hey, links right here on the screen. You can sign up. It's just a little tip. Unfortunately, right now I'm not in a position to do lots of giveaways. I don't have industry partners giving me sponsored goods. I wish I did. But if you want to help the channel out, help me grow, you can do that. If you're not wanting to do that, hey, like the video if you liked it, subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you click that notification bell. Otherwise, the way YouTube's algorithms work, you won't get notified. Even if you are subscribed and you have the notifications turned on, you still might not get notified. It's the battle that gun channels are facing, and I gladly fight that fight to keep bringing you guys content. If you're not following the channel on social media, that information is up on screen right now when I'm posting this video. I'm on YouTube and Instagram, so you can kind of just follow along. If I find great deals, I try to post that, some political commentary maybe, and definitely just pictures of the stuff I get in, and give you some sneak peeks on up-and-coming things. Thanks again for watching, thanks for your support, and until next time, shoot straight, stay safe.